Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, I had comments yesterday on my Beyond the Gates and General Hospital videos. I have not responded. I'm making my mission to respond to every single comment, and I have not done that yet, but I have not forgotten. I don't want to just say, oh, thanks for commenting. I want to actually read your comment and process it and engage with you and respond to it. And I just haven't had the time yet, but I will do that before I go to bed tonight. I am planning on doing it actually right after I finish recording this video about General Hospital. Today is Tuesday, March 25th. All right. So I did watch it on Hulu, so I should have everything, but I did kind of keep losing focus. So I'm sorry if I missed anything. A lot of stuff going on. All right, so we start with Joss, and I don't even know dude's name. I don't even know his name. I even had the subtitles, the captions on to try to to see if she would say it. I know I could just Google it. It honestly didn't occur to me till now, but I will do that for next time. I'll call him her potential boyfriend trainer dude. They had scenes together sprinkled throughout the episode, the same as usual. Kicking, falling, witty, flirty banter, then someone else falling, getting the best of each other back and forth. He asked her if she's going to quit. She's like, I'm not quitting. Then later, we do see that he realizes that she was hurt and asked why she didn't get help. She said, I'm not weak. I'm supposed to do this by myself. And then he properly wraps her ankle for her. It's an ace bandage. I was like, Joss, the athlete, she can't wrap her ankle? All right. Give the girl some ibuprofen if you're actually going to be useful. But anyway, we see Carly's ready to leave the hospital, and Liz is coming in the room saying, no, Lucas needs to sign off on it. Not because he's a doctor. Carly is mad. No, she just wants to go home. She's tired of everybody telling her what to do. It felt like a lot of times with shows, I'll just talk about General Hospital. I feel like lately, I used to feel this way about Bold and the Beautiful, actually. And I probably still would if I watched Bold and the Beautiful, but I barely watch it. Last time I watched it because my daughter held me at gunpoint. It was like, please watch this show. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, it feels like I don't know how they have it structured. I know how shows and entertainment writing works in general, where you will have the head writer and they will get bullet points, and then you have the breakdown writers who actually write this. They break it down and put it into dialogue in the script for the actors. A lot of times with Bold and the Beautiful, it felt like the head writer had their bullet points, their concepts, and they would feed it into AI, chat GTP, I think it's called, and the conversation, they would spit out the conversation just to fill the time. Instead of it being about the conversation that was actually being held, it's more about let's making this one sentence last 3 minutes, and it's just round and round and round. General Hospital's giving me a little bit of that lately. So it's kind of felt like what they're doing with what they do with Jocelyn and Trainer Guy, what they do with what they did today with Carly and Elizabeth, and a lot of the other scenes actually. But all right, so we see Lulu. She's visiting Brennan. She wants to be sure that Valentine is far, far away, that her daughter is safe. Brennan gives her his word. I said, well, what is that worth? All right. Lulu just wants to make sure that Valentine can't pop up again and kidnap Charlotte. Brennan brings up that Valentine's weakness was that he had a child. And Lulu says, well, you chose this life and you didn't have a child, so good for you, or something to that effect. Then, so we know what that means. Trainer dude is probably Brennan's son, right? It's like, ugh. But I could be wrong, but that feels like where that's going. So we see the ladies at deception. Brooklyn is mad that Lulu is late because she can't get into her computer because Lulu changes the security password too often for security reasons, rightfully so. Please, I can't believe they put me in a situation where I gotta say Lulu is right over Brooklyn. I don't really care to say either one of them is right about anything, so that's hard for me. But I'm coping. Um, then Maxie complained that Lois was gone because they were offered a segment on their, home shopping network thing that they have, but with Lois being out of town, they had to decline it. Tracy asked how long Lois is gone. Brooklyn says a few days at least. Um, Maxie has to leave because she has an appointment. Tracy picks up on the tension with Brooklyn and Lois and said, I can tell you guys are fighting. I can read you, blah, blah, blah. Brooklyn tells her to drop it. Tracy don't drop anything, but, oh, dang, I wish I had something clever to say. Tracy don't drop something, but I got nothing. It's in there somewhere. I just didn't get it out in time. All right, so we see Ava talking to Lucas about Julian and inheritance because my girl is desperate, which I don't like, making Ava broke like this. But she's done begged everybody, keep begging everybody for money when she just should have got some more from Nina or Ava, and it shouldn't be alone. Like, you take a baby out of somebody's uterus and then sit there holding their baby in your arms and say, I know what it's like to lose a child. You are indebted to that person. Like, there is no limit to the amount of money Nina should have to give Ava. And they friends too, so Nina should have that thought on her own. Lucas says he doesn't know anything about any inheritance. He doesn't think it exists, and if it did, he wouldn't want to touch it. Ava's like, she's begging it. She's like, please, can you look under Derek Wells, one of his other aliases? And Lucas is like, no, I'm not feeling it. But if you really do need money for Avery, talk to Sonny. Because Sonny, well, don't worry about it because Sonny will always take care of his child. And then light bulb for Ava, but we'll get to that in a minute. We see Christina pops up at Sonny's. Christina just be popping up places, annoying every time. She's telling Sonny about Ava being broke, how she was there when Alexis declined her, and even Christina says Ava was practically begging, and that Christina says, Sonny, this is his chance. He should use that as leverage to get full custody of Avery, because Ava can't provide for her. Sonny says, no, it's settled. But Christina's like, whatever, you got to do this. And Christina's crazy with grief. And I think she's also just mentally ill. But Sonny does say he will think about it. He says he's going to go check on Donna. Christina says, oh, I'll go check on her. Sonny's like, she's going to have you playing that board game, blah, blah, blah. And we know it was really just to get Christina out of the room, but keep her at the property. All right, then we see Tracy, and she's telling Ned about the fight between Lois and Brooklyn and wants to know more about it. Then we go back, we see Brooklyn. As soon as Lulu walks in, Brooklyn is telling her, hey, stop changing my password. Lulu was, all right. Brooklyn was like, really? Is that easy? She was like, well, I quit, period. Yeah, I'm all over the place, but I started grouping by scenes like I do sometimes, so I can knock out like all the character scenes and then move to the other storyline. But it was easier today because they were switching back and forth so much, and we had characters moving from one location to the other. So I kind of just went bullet points. So I'm sorry, I'm about to be all over the place. So we see Rick at the hospital, and Liz is asking Rick what's going on with Portia. He admits that Portia is facing a legal matter, and Elizabeth's like, oh yeah, I know what it's like to be falsely accused. Then Rick was like, who says she's being false? Who says she's innocent? I was like, damn, Rick, it take a lot for me to be disappointed in Rick, because I barely have any expectation of Rick. So actually, I guess this is exactly the kind of shit I would expect Rick to do. So okay, Rick. I already talked about Josh being injured. See, I got ahead of myself. Carly goes to Brennan. He assumes that she wants to stop seeing him. As much as I want to wrap up that scene, I'm afraid I'll forget something, so I'm just going to go in order to my list. All right, Ava goes to Sonny asking for more child support. Love you. Sorry, saying goodnight to my son. Going to work. Um, sorry. So Ava goes to Sonny, asks for more child support. Sonny says, "Oh, you don't need child support. You just want money. If you need money, ask me outright." And then Ava was like, "Fine, I need money." He says, "How much?" She says, $2 million. He was like, "Damn, that's a lot of money." She was like, "Not for you though." Sonny says he'll do it on one condition. I was hoping it wasn't gonna be that one condition, but I think we all knew it was gonna be that one condition. When they come back to them, he says that so I gotta actually group this together, right? Sorry. That he wants to change the custody agreement to where he has full custody of Ava. It's not 50-50, and that Avery can be with Ava 2 weekends in a month. Ava was like, "Hell no, I'm not doing that." And then they went at it. And I like Sonny couldn't help himself. I was actually proud of Sonny for working it out with Ava to have the 50-50 custody, for taking his heart condition into account and doing the right thing. Like, what happens if he does what he wants? He gets over on Ava and he has a heart attack. This is what I was thinking while they were going at it. I was like, what happens if you have a heart attack or you die, Sonny? Like, yeah, there will be somebody to take care of her in the moment. There's always a nanny somewhere that we don't see around, but like, she's gonna end up with her mother, with Ava, with Ava. So like, why put that tension there? Why do that? And we know, truth be told, in my humble opinion, which I believe to be fact, is that Sonny ain't even Avery's father. That's her grandfather. That's Morgan's baby. And Carly and Sonny worked together to fake their DNA test so that they could protect Morgan. And my Morgan died anyway, till he come back to life and get his daughter. So that's Morgan's baby. That's Sonny and Carly's grandbaby. Ava and Morgan are Avery's parents. I said it. I mean it. You can't convince me otherwise. And I felt that way since the original storyline played out. And I do believe that was where the story that they were writing, but then they changed direction, as you know they often do. All right, Ava rejects the offer and then throws up that Michael's in the burn clinic. Like, what happens if Avery gets hurt? And then Sonny brings up Morgan and Connie. And Ava's like, "I don't want to sell my kid." He was like, "That's what you was basically doing anyway." Ava said, "Well, neither one of us is going to heaven, Sonny. Like, we both got blood on our hands." And he was about to say, "If you weren't Avery's mother," but then he clutches his chest and bends over. He drops the pills as he's trying to get them. And Ava is like, "Sonny, what's going on? What's going on?" And then she sees the pills and was like, oh, my. Do you need those? I was like, if this ain't a Tracy Angelica Quartermaine moment. That's my first scene that I vividly remember seeing of Tracy. When Edward was having a heart attack and Tracy wouldn't give him his pills. And, people talk about that story and bring it up, but what people forget is that Edward was faking that shit. He was testing her. She failed that test. So, yes, she was vicious by not giving him the meds, but, like, Edward was cold to do that to her. Sonny's not faking. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like Christina probably going to come in the room. And then, once again, Ava will have to explain how she didn't do anything wrong, and Christina won't believe her. And, round and around we go. All right, so we see Maxie is at the hospital for James' orthopedic appointment, but we never see James, which is cool. I don't need to see James. I'm not a fan of that kid. I'm not a fan of either one of Maxie's kids. I want to love Georgie because she named after Georgie and she looked like Georgie, but I can't really mess with either one of them kids. So I was happy we didn't see James, even though it didn't make sense that James wasn't there if Maxie was there. As far as I heard, she didn't even say Spinelli's meeting me here or something like that. So just that one line thrown in there would have made it make more sense. And maybe I missed it. If I did, please comment below. Let me know. I love it when you guys fill me in on stuff that I missed, because I'm an old lady and it happens. But Lucas tells Maxie about Marco, the same story he told to Elizabeth. We saw what happened. Found credit card, kissing, drunk, vomit, wake up, drink. I'm sorry. All right. Maxie says Marco sounds like a real catch. I was like, how? Like, you don't know enough, but I know I'm just being I'm just being difficult. I know that. Like, I do know what it's like to meet somebody and you have the sparks and the tingles and like you just see like all the good and all the potential. You see what you want to see. Um, and I think that's what Lucas is doing. But I can't really say I'm invested. But we know this scene was just to have Lucas and Maxie that in a scene to fulfill their contracts. It probably. Maxie tells Lucas to call. Lucas is scared. She's like, do you have his number? He's like, yeah, well, he put his number in my phone. She's like, are you an idiot? He gave you his number. He gave you the opportunity to stay in touch. But Lucas is scared. Maxie was like, look, you do it or I'm going to do it. You know I'll do it. So I don't remember if he actually did it, but he's about to do it. We all know, dude, he's going to be in Port Charles. Excuse me. Lucas... No, Lulu tells Brooklyn that I already said that she says she quit. Brooklyn asks why. Lulu says, well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I made up my mind for sure because of what Chase threatened me last night. And then she said it's Brooklyn and Chase's fault. Lulu said it's Brooklyn and Chase's fault that Lulu has to lie to Dante. No. No. Brooklyn is choosing to lie to Dante. Chase is choosing to lie to Dante. But Lulu is lying to Dante because Lulu broke into Martin's office and wouldn't mind her own fucking business. Like nobody, that was not on, Brooklyn and Chase didn't have anything to do with that. She stole the key card to break into the room. She put on the nurse's uniform. She went in there. Like that's all her. And why, and they, oh, let me get ahead. Oh, it's right here. Brooklyn, Lulu brings up Brooklyn trying to seduce Dante, coming to town all those years ago, trying to seduce Dante. Brooklyn was like, oh, here we go again. I was like, yes, here we go again. I'm tired of this. But why is it that Lulu specifically holds that? And I get it. Brooklyn was wrong for trying to seduce Dante and like drugging him. That is, everybody forget about the drugging part. Like that's pretty bad. You know, whether it was that time period or this period, but we can't bring that up because that's then we can look at Brooklyn as being the innocent one, right? But why is Lulu not mad at Carly still? Carly was paying Brooklyn, and when Brooklyn, if I remember correctly, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, Brooklyn was having like mixed feelings about it. She's like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, because she really did care for Dante. And Carly was like, nah, you gonna do it or else. So like Brooklyn was desperate for money because the Quartermaines was constantly shitting on her. Ned did practically disown her. I think they didn't want her to be a singer, which that doesn't make sense, but I don't remember the exact reason. But Brooklyn was desperate. So Carly offered her the money. That's why she came back to town. Then she had second thoughts, and Carly was like, no, you will seduce him, because Carly wanted to break up Dante and Lulu because she blamed them for Michael being locked up, which is a whole nother story. And not just him being locked up, but what happened to him in prison. But why ain't Lulu mad at Brooklyn? Why isn't Lulu mad at Dante? Because Dante knew that he had been, even though he didn't know about the baby, with this rewrite, that means Dante knew he had messed with Brooklyn when they were kids. And that means every time he told Lulu back then that she had nothing to worry about, that him and Brooklyn was just friends, they were like family, that means he was lying to her every single time. What they've done effectively with this stupid ass rewrite is make Dante a bad guy. Like, it's one thing to do stupid stuff when you're a kid, but this means their whole marriage was a lie. We couldn't find no better way to do this story, because Dante is a good guy. Well, he was. I thought he was, but now he's not. Sorry, I just got to talking. I got to figure out where to go on my notes. The next thing I have is that Tracy wants Ned to figure out what's going on with Brooklyn and Lois. Ned is like, nah, let's respect our privacy. Let's respect their privacy. Tracy's like, what? What does that mean? Privacy? Respect? Huh? Then we see, I already talked about dude bandaging Joss's ankle. Oh, and then after he's wrapping her ankle, they have like a conversation, and he's like imparting his wisdom onto her, saying, she says this training should be a last resort. He's like, yes, you should never escalate to violence, because then things can be out of control. And Josh just seems so naive, like looking up at him and like, and then what? And I'm like, you know, so this is the whole training? Just kickboxing, just play fighting, just wrestling around. That's the whole training for the WSB. Shouldn't she like be in a classroom, like at a desk, at a with a computer, no books or nothing? You don't need to study like other stuff besides the physical aspect of it. I'm confused. I'm confused, and I'm also feel like I'm highly qualified to be a WSB agent. So watch your back. No, I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, it's just this story is falling flat to me, and I'm not saying it didn't have potential because it did, but I would much rather Joss be a doctor or nurse to honor the Spencer legacy. Bobby was the nurse, the nurse. Um, Carly was almost a nurse, kind of a nurse, you know, and it would just be really fulfilling for me on a personal level if that's what Joss's career path was, and hopefully that's where she still ends up. Um, and I think she would be good at it. It seemed like they were even setting that up for her with all of, she kept saving lives. She saved Dex's life like twice. She kept Ava from bleeding out. Like she was saving lives. She should be a doctor. Carly warns Brennan that what Jason said, that whatever happens to Carly will happen to Brennan. He says, I only care about you. I need you. I've been fine being alone. That's until you. Wonk, 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 wonk. I wish we saw Carly being lonely up until this point. Even if it was just a couple of scenes, if we saw her like sitting at home on the couch watching TV, trying to see if Michael, this is in the past, Michael or Joss wanted to hang out and like they were too busy with their lives, or like if she was wanted to spend time with the grandkids and they was busy. I just wish we would have seen some build up to why Carly would be so lonely. Like I get it, I have my moments too. Like and you know you get older and your kids have their own lives and I can relate to the loneliness, but I don't see it in Carly. I don't understand why she is so desperate to believe this man. Now, if it was the original Brennan, I would have none of this critique. I'd be like, girl, I feel you. Do it. But this is not. They don't have the same chemistry. They don't have the same connection. He's not as charming, and he doesn't. He comes across like, I don't know, like he think he better than Carly. Like he probably before they even had sex, when she was apologizing in the hotel room, he was like, "Well, what are you sorry for exactly?" Like, no, what the hell? That was too much. It's all too much. I don't like it, and I'm a Carly fan, so I don't like seeing her this way. I don't understand why. I don't like seeing her this way. And then Carly is like, it seems like she's more worried about Brennan than she is herself. She's telling him that they can be together or whatever, as long as he understands that if something happens to her, Jason will come after him. Like, girl, it couldn't have been that good. It could not have been that good. It could not have been that good. I saw how she walked from that bed to that shower. That wasn't that good. She would have been limping or walking slower or just stayed her ass in that bed. Sorry if that's too much, but that's how I feel about it. My kids ain't in this room, so I can say that. All right, so we see Gio and Emma. They find Ned. They're like, Ned, we've been looking for you. We're so happy to see you, or something like that. And Ned was like, dang, I ain't even been hiding. And I genuinely feel that way when I see Ned, because it always feels like he just pops up in the most random scenes, the random moments. And I like Ned. Ned is, when they write for him and give him the opportunity, he's a very funny character. He have good one-liners, so I always get happy to see Ned too. So I agree with Gio and Emma today, which was wild. But they suggest they had a genius idea that the Quartermaine expensive ass lawyers, nobody else thought of this, but a very common sense solution to appease the city, if not Drew, to instead of moving dead bodies in a crypt, like a cement concrete structure, that they give the same amount of property and especially like the shore property for birds and some Emma save the animal stuff. Yo, I care about animals. I'm not belittling the animals. I'm belittling Emma because I don't see her as Emma. I'm a vegetarian. I love animals. But it's hard to care about anything that Emma says because I don't know who that girl is. I used to love Emma. This person is. I would, and I maybe she did. Maybe the actress did. Maybe the actress did watch old scenes of her as a child, but it doesn't look like it to me. And the writing is also, even if she did, she has to play the character that as it's written, and she's written annoying as hell. But she had a good idea. They had a good idea that none of the lawyers thought of. So I guess that's a good thing. But I didn't write the rest of the notes here. Ned rejects the offer. Says I don't remember why, but he thinks there might be a better solution. Then we see I already talked about Liz and Portia. I mean Liz and Rick. He admitted it. Rick asked Elizabeth to go through the computers and print out all the files that Portia would have accessed. That's stupid because that's just another crime. So instead of helping your friend Portia not get in trouble for breaking a law, you are going to then break a law and leave a paper trail. Because if we can print out a record of every file that Portia printed out, won't we be able to print out a record of every file that Elizabeth prints out that Portia printed out? I'm not a computer expert. I'm not Spinelli, but I think so. But I think the point of it is, sorry. Somehow this is going to expose that Portia had Drew's file. Somehow the list will be out. I don't know how they're going to have it work, but I think that's where this is going. And so just Portia will get in more trouble, or Drew will get tipped off. I don't know. I already talked about Maxie. This is why I shouldn't be getting ahead of myself. We see Gio again, and he's saying he loves how Emma sees the world, but the cues are different. They will always put family first. Emma suggests that they get help from another Quartermain before they pitch another idea. They should enlist some Quartermain help. Gio says he thinks he knows the perfect person. Probably gonna be Brooklyn or Lulu. I don't know. The next scene went to them arguing, and I feel like they want Tracy to be the one to listen. I feel like Tracy is more likely to listen to Lulu than Brooklyn, which is crazy, but I don't know. We'll see. Because Lulu is not a Quartermain, but we'll see. So then we see Ned telling Tracy that they should threaten Drew with the secret about Nina. I had forgotten they knew that secret. At first I felt like they was just throwing that in, but it's something like in the back of my mind. I do believe that was true. I just can't pinpoint how they know. If they overheard. Do you guys remember how Tracy and Ned found out? You comment below and let me know, please. Refresh my memory. Thank you. Tracy said she thinks that they should wait. They should not do that because once they threaten Drew, he's not going to go down easily. And then once it's out, it's already out and they have no more leverage. Versus they think it would be more, Tracy thinks it would be more productive to use that against Nina. Well, she's accurate. Nina will do whatever to not have that not come out. Back to Joss and her trainer's potential boyfriend. She asked how he joined the WSB, how he got to meet Brennan or whatever. He says, I can't really tell you. I can give you one of my cover stories. Oh, that's the last thing I have. I know that's not how it ended. Oh! How it ended was with Ava and Sonny, but I already got through that. Yeah. She said, my, do you need those? So, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know it will involve Christina's crazy ass. All right. Oh, 30 minutes. Goodness gracious. Thank you guys for bearing with me this long if you're still watching. I appreciate you. Again, I will be responding to your comments from yesterday momentarily. I hope everyone had a good day. I can't say today was a great episode, but it wasn't the worst episode. The Sonny Ava stuff was a good setup for what's to come next. And I like it when they invoke like real GH history. So the barbs that they were throwing, Sonny and Ava were throwing back at each other, that's real shit. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch tomorrow. I actually am though. Wow. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. Live long and prosper.